Ravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudhiraya. Ashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtike. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2 and text number 41. Vyavasayatmaka buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushakahi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayina. Translation and purport by His Loving Divineness A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Those who are on the path of this path, the resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Purport: a strong faith in Krishna consciousness that one should be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasayatmika intelligence. A strong faith in Krishna consciousness that one should be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasayatmika intelligence. The Chaitanya Charitamrita states, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe Sudhrudha Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Kritaha. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. The definition of faith is that faith means unflinching trust in something supply. When one is engaged in the duties of a Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligation to family traditions, humanity, and nationality. Fruitive activities are the engagements of one's reactions from past good or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane. For they are no longer subject to dualities like good and bad. The highest perfection of a Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. The resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on a knowledge. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha, by which one comes to know perfectly that Vasudev, Krishna, is the root of all manifested causes. As water on the root of a tree is automatically distributed to the leaves and branches, in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Krishna is satisfied by one's action, then everyone will be satisfied. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master who is bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. As such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna. And one should accept the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayers for the spiritual master as follows. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasadam nagadi kutopi dhyayam stuvam stasya yashastri sandhyam vande Shri Charanarvindam. By satisfaction of the spiritual master, the supreme personality of a Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of a Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body, not theoretically, but practically. When there is no longer chance for sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities, one who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of fruitive acts. Om Jnana-timirandasya dhyananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udavaragamalam Shri Guna Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Varijana Sayitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Namavam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Bhutinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे व्यवसायात्मका बुद्धिर एके कुरुनंदन बहुशाखा यन्तश्च बुद्धयो अव्यवसायिना. Those who are on the path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of Gurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. So furthermore, here Lord is explaining about Buddhi Yoga, which is characterized by resolute determination in Krishna consciousness. Intelligence of those who are irresolute has many branched. So what we can learn from this verses, like the previous verse, Lord has explained about Nehavi kramanashasti pratyavayona vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayato mahatavaya. So whatever endeavor that you have done in spiritual life, that never goes west. It gets invest actually. And it has its eternal effect. And furthermore, Lord is explaining here in this particular verse that what is the definition of faith? Prabhupada explains in each purport that the strong faith that Krishna consciousness will elevate one to the highest perfection of life. This is called Vyavasayatmika intelligence. And then he quotes from Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe Sudruda Nishay. With unflinching trust, which is known as a faith, if someone follows the sublime purpose of life, then it's become easy for him to make progress in spiritual life. Further, Prabhupada explains about the firm faith. He says that it implies to engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness. Engaging in the different aspects of devotional service is called as a faith. And there are 9 different things that one can engage himself to render devotional service of the Lord. Like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, Dasyam, Atmanivedanam. So these 9 different practices one can adopt in his life to strengthen his faith in Krishna. And if someone is already engaged, then he does not have any obligations in the material world. Generally, people they go for different purpose to different demigods, and they feel obliged to worship that particular demigod for something, or to please, to keep happy that particular demigod. But if someone has engaged in the devotional service, as example has given, that if you put water into the roots, it automatically goes to the all branches, twigs and leaves. No need to put extra water on that. So same way, if you take up a Krishna consciousness and start rendering service to the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, then automatically everyone is pleased. That's what the scripture says. So what is this Krishna consciousness means actually? And what is the highest perfection in that? Krishna consciousness means engaging everything in Krishna's service for his satisfaction. That is Krishna. And the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of material concept of life. So what is this material concept of life? Lord has already explained. in previous verses. What is that? Hmm? We consider ourselves as a body. That is the material conception of life. And things related with the body, we consider that is mind. And we get entangled in that. And generally, because of that, the one more misconception develops, that we want to lord it over what we survey. Whatever is seen through eyes, we think that I'm going to lord it over. So that is the material conception of life. But when one understands that even this body never belongs to me. When we are taken birth, parent basis, it's my baby. As we grow, friends say he's my friend. So you belong to them. As you grow furthermore, you get married. Wife claims her possession on your body. As you get disease, doctor possesses that he's my patient. So ultimately, whom it belongs to? Not me at all, because it leaves me, that's why I have to die. Generally, body belongs to whom? When they burn it, Agni says it's mine. That everything gets what they call bifurcated. Water, it takes its own part, Agni takes its own part, then ether takes its own part. Like that, the whole, all these Panchamahabhutas, they takes out everything. And what remains ultimately? That ashes. So, and the identification along with this body goes along with that body itself. So that's the material conception of life. And in Krishna consciousness, they leave that conception. They leave this Dehatma Buddhi. And to attain that renunciation of material concept of life is the highest perfection in Krishna consciousness. So how to achieve such a renunciation? That renunciation automatically comes when you progress in your Krishna consciousness. As you start developing in Krishna consciousness, gradually you come to understand that nothing belongs to me. Then whom it belongs? Ishavasamidam sarva. It belongs to Ishvara. Who is that Ishvara? Krishna. Because he says, from me everything emanates. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam bhava samvedva. He is the intelligent person who understands that everything emanates from Krishna. He is the proprietor of everything. And that gives us such a renunciation of material concept of life. Then Prabhupada explains about the foundation of resolute intelligence or resolute determination. First thing is knowledge of soul. The whole process ultimately depends upon the perfect knowledge of a soul beyond conception of body. Not only theoretically, but practically, with no chance of a sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities. If you have the knowledge about soul, then automatically you will come to know that soul is undying, is eternal, and body is temporary and going to get destroyed. So the attachment based on the bodily concept of life, they will get lost once you lose this body. And furthermore, if you understand that nothing belongs to me, then whom it belongs? It belongs to Vasudeva. That is Lord Krishna. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam mam prapadyante vasudevam sarvamiti samahatma sudurlava. After many, many lives, one comes to understand that nothing belongs to us, everything belongs to God. Here, why we suffer? Because we try to claim our proprietorship on the things. And because we are not able to claim that properly, we suffer. But the practice of Krishna consciousness gives us this proper understanding. And how to practice that? That practice we can adopt through the instruction of spiritual master. And that's why Prabhupada, he quotes from the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's song, Guru Ashtakam, where he says that service to the spiritual master is the way to please the Krishna. Because spiritual master knows the nature of student, and according to that he can guide that person. And if one is firmly fixed on the instructions of spiritual master and he follows it in his life, then this path of Krishna consciousness becomes easy for him to accept and make a progress in his spiritual life. Hare Krishna. So here we'll stop and we'll continue tomorrow with the text number 42. Hare Krishna. Any question? Any doubt? No. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.